I'm Craig T. Nelson, and wouldn't it be great if yours was the only car on the road? But that's never the case. You know, technology keeps on developing safer vehicles, but the one safety factor that's beyond the control of automobile designers and manufacturers is you. We're going to put you in the driver's seat to see how you would react to some driving situations we hope you never have to face. Joining me on our cross-country journey is one of the hosts of CBS This Morning and a beautiful lady, Paula Zahn.
Well, thanks, Craig. Hi, everybody. We're starting on one of the most challenging roadways in America, the Los Angeles freeway system. It's a complex network of roads where a single wrong move or even a moment of indecision can spell disaster.
You're in the left lane on a crowded expressway driving at highway speed. The lanes are narrow, and the only thing between you and the oncoming traffic is a metal guardrail. The car to your right suddenly enters your lane, hitting your car and forcing you into the guardrail. What should you do? A, slam on the brakes. B, maintain your grip on the wheel while gradually braking to a stop. C, maintain your grip on the wheel and move to the right. D, turn hard to the right to avoid hitting the guardrail again. The answer is B. Maintain your grip on the wheel and brake firmly, but not to the point where your brakes lock up. Gradually steer away from the guardrail and come to a stop in the left lane once traffic behind you has reacted to your problem. Do not attempt to cross lanes at heavy traffic. Do not slam on the brakes. You could lock your wheels and skid or be struck from the rear by someone following too closely. Do not make a hard turn to the right, but get away from the guardrail as quickly as possible. Experienced drivers try to prepare for every contingency, including the weather. You're driving after a recent rainstorm. As you drive through a big puddle, the steering wheel doesn't respond. Your car is hydroplaning, a condition where your tires begin to ride up on a film of water and lose contact with the road. To avoid losing control of the car, the first thing you should do is A, increase speed. B, pump the brakes. C, depress the brake pedal and hold it down gently. D, ease your foot off the accelerator. The answer is D. Ease your foot off the accelerator and slow down until you regain traction. Avoid sharp turns or sudden hard braking, as this may force your car to skid. Reducing your speed on surfaces where there is standing water will help prevent hydroplaning.
Hi, I'm Tim Allen, and you know, I know a lot about cars. I can tell you about how the pinion gear fits in the differential. I can tell you about the cubic displacement of your engine. I can even tell you about the frequently neglected Canuter valve. But let's not worry about that now. You don't have to be a mechanic like me to do at least one thing to improve your car's safety. Good treads allow water to escape from under your car's tires, giving your car a much better grip on the road. Smooth tires, however, double the risk of skidding on wet surfaces. And you're more likely to blow out if you hit an obstacle, right? You don't want that. Now, if your treads are worn, get some new tires. Bald eagles are a symbol of America's pride. Bald tires are an imitation of disaster. All right, now about Canuter valves. It's actually a little valve that fits inside.
That police car is leading us to our next question. In any busy metropolitan area, emergency vehicles have a hard time cutting through traffic. Patients in ambulances or others awaiting help have actually died because drivers on jam city streets didn't know what to do when they heard a siren. Through the magic of computer animation, with no lives at risk, we'll test your response to just such a critical situation. You're barely moving in the far left lane on a very crowded city street. You hear a siren. Checking your rearview mirror, you see a rapidly approaching fire engine. You can't move to the right because vehicles block that route. Traffic stops completely. Your best course of action is to pull to the left to clear your lane for the fire engine. True or false? False. When you see an emergency vehicle approaching, you should immediately move to the right of your lane or the shoulder and stop. If moving to the right is not possible, then stay where you are. Do not move to your left and into oncoming traffic lanes. You might impede the path of the emergency vehicle, and you also risk a head-on collision. Emergency vehicles have the right to go into oncoming lanes to circumvent traffic. They have sirens and lights to warn others of their path. You don't.
Hello, I'm Annie Potts. 2 out of every 5 Americans will be involved in an alcohol-related crash during their lives. It happened to me when I was 20 years old. 3 drunk drivers drag racing down the wrong side of a 2-lane highway hit my car head on. All 3 of them walked away from the crash. I did not. In fact, I didn't walk for a long time. I was very lucky to survive. That's why I know the importance of this next question. It's 3 a.m. and you're driving down the road at the posted speed limit. In your rearview mirror, you see a car behind you, swerving and alternately speeding up and slowing down. There are several bars along the road, and you assume the driver is under the influence of alcohol. What's the best way to avoid this driver? A, try to stay as far ahead of the car as possible. B, slow down but try to keep the car behind you. C, make a right turn onto another road. D, pull to the right and let the car pass. The answer is C. When you get to the next road, which could be a driveway or other turnoff, signal and make a right turn. Try to get the car's license plate number and description, then notify the police from the nearest phone. Never try to outrun a drunk driver or pull one over. And if you merely move to the shoulder, you run the risk of being hit by the drunk driver because drunk drivers tend to focus in on taillights. Now that you know how to watch out for the other guy, don't be the other guy. Don't drink and drive.
Welcome to Aspen, Colorado. I'm Danny Sullivan, and I make my living racing cars. That means I get to face some of the most challenging roads all the time. Which brings us to question number 5.
You're driving cautiously down a mountain road in the middle of winter. Traffic is light, but the road is snow-covered. Your car has a 4-wheel anti-lock brake system, also known as ABS. As the car ahead of you rounds the curve, it fishtails and spins into a snowbank, partially blocking your lane. You're headed straight for it. How can you avoid the collision? A, apply brakes quickly, then release pressure as you steer around the car. B, apply brakes fully and maintain pressure as you steer around the car. C, pump the brakes as you steer around the car. D, do not brake as you steer around the car. The answer is B, apply brakes fully, maintaining pressure, and attempt to steer around the car. Applying brakes fully will activate the anti-lock system when the wheels begin to lock. Slamming on the brakes and then releasing them, as well as not applying your brakes at all, will not help reduce your speed. Pumping anti-lock brakes reduces the effectiveness of the anti-lock brake system and may even increase your stopping distance.
If you have an older car or one without ABS, the best way to make a controlled stop is to use the threshold or squeeze braking technique.
Apply the brakes firmly but short of wheel lockup. Keep the heel of your foot on the floor and use your toes to apply firm and steady pressure to the brake pedal.
Having ABS can be a great help when you know how to use it. Your owner's manual can show you how. But even with ABS, you should drive with caution.
Now we'll look at a question that deals with the other guy and what you can do to handle that. You're traveling down a busy 2-lane street. As you approach an intersection, an oncoming car suddenly makes an unsignaled left turn in front of the car ahead of you. The car ahead of you slams on the brakes. You hit your brakes hard, but it is too late. Your car rams into the back of the car in front of you. What could you have done to avoid this crash? A, allowed more space between you and the vehicle in front of you. B, swerve to the left. C, swerve to the right. D, there was nothing you could have done to avoid the collision. The answer is A. Whenever you drive in traffic, allow plenty of distance between your vehicle and the one ahead. Space allows you time to stop safely if the other driver suddenly brakes.